Welcome to Gentle Yoga Practice. I'm so happy you joined me, and I'm happy for you that you chose to explore a little bit and to find out some of the benefits of yoga. So I hope you enjoy this. I wanted to just start out by letting you know, if you have never practiced yoga before, this will be very gentle and there's no need to have experience. There will be another video on introduction to yoga, so that might be something you're interested in. I want to make sure that you know at any time in the practice, if you're feeling any discomfort or tension, that you should use your own wisdom to determine how much to do, how little to do. Whatever feels right for you is what's right. So there's no perfect way to do it. I want to make sure that you are sitting in a chair that is has non-skid feet so that it won't slide around as we're moving around and using the chair. This particular video, we'll be doing chair poses and also standing poses with the chair as a prop so that we can feel a little more stable. And also, if you're choosing to wear something on your feet, please wear shoes. I enjoy being barefoot and I like the freedom with my toes and my feet, but if you would like to have something on your feet, make sure you have shoes on. Socks can tend to be slippery, especially on a wood floor or carpeting. So just a couple of safety tips there. Again, I'm so glad that you're checking this out, and whether you've practiced before or not, this will be hopefully a really enjoyable, gentle yoga practice for you. So we'll start out by just settling into the chair and making sure that you have good back support. If for some reason your feet are not connected to the floor and maybe it's straining your back a little bit, feel free to find a pillow or something to put underneath or to put behind your back to allow you to rest and take the strain off the back so that your feet can be in touch with the floor. So just make that adjustment if that's something you'd like to do. We'll start out, as we do in yoga practice, by just being aware of the time and the space that we're in right at this moment. Part of yoga practice is to draw our attention to the present. And there's so much that's distracting and out there that we sometimes forget that we're still here. So we're going to just start with noticing the breath. And the breath is one of the best ways to bring our awareness to the present. So just notice with the inhale, what the breath in the air feels like moving through your nose. Nice easy inhale, and then a gentle exhale. Easy in again. And exhale out. And as you're beginning to bring the breath in and being aware of it, noticing the space that's created in the upper body, the upper chest, might have a sense of openness, relaxation, easy movement. And now we'll focus a little bit on bringing the breath deeper into the body. So please bring your hands to your low belly and just find a nice little spot there to put your hands. And with this inhale, a little bit deeper breath, draw the breath way down deep into the belly so that you can feel your low belly expanding into your hands like a balloon. Inhale, big breath, low belly, big. And just release it like a balloon, the air coming out of it. One more time. The belly just grows into the hands. And then relaxes, releasing with the exhale. This time, bring one hand up to the rib space, kind of in the mid-abdomen, and allow the breath to fill up from the low belly into the middle of your abdomen, into the rib cage area. So inhale deep into the belly and feel the ribs expand, belly and the ribs together, and exhale. And we'll do that again. Inhale. Creating more space, more expansion, more freedom, room to move. This time place the hand, one hand on the low belly, one hand over the heart, and have a sense of your whole upper body filling with the breath, starting from the belly, going to the ribs, up into the chest. Big inhale. And exhale. And we'll do that a couple more times. Creating all kinds of room for movement, freedom, and exhaling, releasing tension and stress. And then bring your hand to your lap, relaxing and staying here. Begin to move the shoulders a little bit. Bring your right shoulder or your left shoulder, it doesn't really matter which one, just draw it up towards your ear and then relax it. Inhale, second side, shoulder comes up and relax. And continue one side and then the next. You might even have a sense of connection with your breath with this as we aim to unite through yoga practice the breath with our movements. Inhale, draw the shoulder up. Exhale, release it. Inhale and release. They're waking up. We'll move into a little bit of a circular motion with the shoulder. Allow the shoulder to come up towards the ear and then draw it back and then down and forward. So the shoulder comes up, back, down, and forward. You might notice as you continue with this motion, the hand sliding forward and backward on the thigh, which is kind of a nice massage. Reverse directions, bring the shoulder back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. And one more time. And anytime, and coming back down to neutral, move to the second side. Anytime you have a sense of wanting to connect the breath to the movement, just go with that. Enjoy it. Inhale, bring the shoulder up, forward, back, down. Inhale up, exhale down. And reverse. So coming forward and up, back and down. Just moving easily. The shoulder joint is relaxed, enjoying the gentle movement, the rhythm, and then coming back to neutral position. Bring your hands on your thighs. I'm actually going to move forward in my chair a little bit so I can have a little bit more movement, preparing for a twist. I'm going to bring my feet right underneath my knees, coming a little bit on the edge of the chair, not so far that I want to topple forward, of course. But before we move into a twist, let's take a moment to check our alignment. We have such a tendency in our worlds and our lives to be leaning forward over a computer, over a countertop. In all of our daily activities, we get used to that posture. And then we forget what healthy posture feels like. So we'll just a couple of reminders here. Find the bones that you're under your hips that we use to sit on. You might want to move some of the skin and the flesh away from those bones. We call them the sit bones. So just feel a connection between the sit bones and the chair that you're sitting on. Notice that, and then have a sense of the back of your shoulders and your upper back lining up with those bones. So you might even feel a little bit strange to be that upright. And then to add to that, let's just see what it feels like to allow the back of the head to have that alignment with the shoulders and the sit bones. So we're really upright here and lengthening the spine, opening space in the front body, the side body, getting away from that hunched over position, and just being mindful at different times that this is healthy and something to just be mindful of whenever we can. From here, just bring your hands to your thighs and just keeping our shoulders over our hips. Just allow the head and the shoulders to rotate to one side or the other. Doesn't really matter. And coming back to center and then twisting, rotating to the second side. And moving from side to side, you'll notice that the hands probably are sliding on top of your thighs, which feels pretty nice. And choose if you want to slide your hand back towards the back of your hip. The shoulder will rotate a little bit. You don't want to hold or force anything here, but just enjoy the openness in the shoulder blade, shoulder, front of the shoulder. Second side. And then going to incorporate the breath. Inhaling to twist to one side. Exhaling, coming back to center. And inhale, second side. And exhale back to center. And then just pausing, and taking a moment to feel the movement, the massage of the middle part of the body, wringing of tension. So allow one hand to come to the side of your chair, and you can hold the side or just let it be free, whichever you'd like. On the other side, bring your hand either to the waist, to the shoulder, or perhaps up over the top of the head. You choose. It always is your choice in the yoga practice to move in a way that feels right for you. So I think I'll keep my hand on my shoulder for now. So I'm going to inhale, lengthening up, lifting the chest. With the exhale, just gently lean over to the side and allow my elbow to come up towards the ceiling and really open up that side space, breathing into the ribs on that side. You can extend the arm. A little more of a stretch, a little more expansion. Feel free to gaze up at your palm, up towards the ceiling, breathing, and then coming back to center. Second side, one hand down by the side, and choose where you'd like your arm or your hand to rest. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, just begin to lean over and open that rib cage. Oh my goodness. Just take a moment to breathe into that space. Maybe turn your head a little bit and look up at the ceiling. Oh boy. And then come back to center. Really nice. So I'm going to turn sideways on my chair and moving into lengthening the spine, seated Cobra pose. So I'm going to put my hand on the side of the chair. Allow my feet to rest right underneath my knees, about hip width apart. Using the chair to connect with my palms and pressing my feet into the earth. With an inhale, lift the chest and imagine the spine growing long and tall all the way from the back, from the tailbone, up through the upper body and through the crown of your head with a nice big inhale. Lengthening with the inhale, pause here and exhale, just relax. You might notice a little bit of abdominal engagement here. Inhale again, lengthening. Maybe there's even a little more space that you can notice with another inhale. And exhale, relax. And I'll come back to center. Now I might just stay here. So allow your arms to come out in front of you. And if this is accessible, bring them out about shoulder height. If there are concerns about the shoulder or the weight, the arms are heavy. So if there's a concern about that, feel free to keep your hands on your lap. Just keep the chest lifted. Bring the arms out in front of you, clasp the hands in front of you, and looking out over your hands, take a nice breath in. And with an exhale, push your knuckles away from your chest. Feel the space between your shoulder blades opening up. You can even tuck your chin a little bit. Don't round the upper back. You can just tuck your chin. A little more of a stretch in the back of the neck. Pause here, inhale. And exhale, pressing the knuckles again. And then relax for a moment. Bring your hands back to your lap. Bring your arms up again. Reverse the hands. so that your palms are facing away from your chest. And if the wrists are stiff, if there's any concern with the fingers or the wrist, find a way to connect your hands. Just bring the palms together and just reaching forward to inhale, lift the chest, exhale, press the palms away from your chest. Again, opening the space between your back, between the shoulder blades. And then release the hands. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears and back. And then if you would like to bring your hands towards the back of your chair or to the side, if it's possible, maybe you'll reach your hands together behind your back. Just find a place where there's a nice comfortable stretch across the front of your chest. So bringing the hands where it feels right for you. Inhale, allow the chest to rise, and exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, hug them together. Now we're opening the front of the chest, keeping the chin level, the gaze forward. Inhale again. And exhale, relax. Nice job. And then coming back to center. Let's go ahead and work on activating the legs. So we'll just take a minute to wake up our leg muscles, extend your, actually I'll turn back to the side again here. Sitting towards the front of your chair, bring one leg straight out with your heel on the floor. And just begin to activate the leg muscle by flexing your foot, bring your toes to your nose, and then point your toes to the floor. So you're extending, and then flex back, toes to nose, and toes to floor. And one more time. And then draw your foot under your knee, second side. Straighten the leg out, heel on the floor. Chest is lifted. Sometimes when the legs come out in front, the shoulders kind of want to follow and lean over. So point and flex. Point and flex. Nice. And then bring your foot back underneath your knee. And now we're going to prepare to stand. And the best way to do that, and I'll just do a little demonstration here. You can follow along or you can wait, watch, and then do it on your own. But we try to be very aware and conscious of not putting too much strain on the upper back when we're standing, moving in different positions. We want to be really careful to protect our vertebrae. So to prepare to stand, find the hip crease, which is right where your belly meets your thighs. Just put your little pinky finger there. Keep your feet a good hip width apart and come up to the front of the chair. So rather than using the back muscles to lift our body weight up, we're going to rely on our legs and our feet. And so with an inhale, lift the chest. With the exhale, press your feet into the floor, activate the legs, and come on up to standing. This is a really good practice for strengthening the quads and a good way to a habit to get into for getting yourself in and out of a chair, especially if there are concerns with knees and you need to develop muscles that support the knees. Inhale and exhale, come on up to standing. And then now that you've made your way up to standing, let's find your chair. And I'm going to turn my chair sideways here. You use your chair however it works for you. You can stand behind it or sideways. You'll kind of figure out what the best thing to do with that is. Start out with a little bit of balance practice. So just working on tree pose. There are 3 options for tree. Feel free always to use the back of the chair for support. So in tree pose, you can choose to bring your foot to the ankle, keeping your toes connected to the floor. Very stable pose, very stable position. You can bring your hand to the waist, the shoulder, or above the head. You get to choose. And then once you decide kind of how you want it, the balance comes into when you decide if you want to just play around with maybe you don't really want to let go, but you want to see what happens when you let go. So just play with that. And the balancing is not a matter of getting to any one point and staying there. It's the process of exploring and seeing what different things feel like. Another option for balancing is to bring your foot to the inside of your calf, finding your alignment, bringing your shoulders over your hips, and then seeing where you want your hands to be. The arms can come up over the head. You can bring one hand to the heart center. You can bring both hands to the heart center. You can bring a hand to the chair. Another opportunity with tree pose is to bring the foot to the inside of the thigh and position your hands maybe at the heart center, maybe above your head, wherever it feels right. So take a moment to explore with that. Keep the gaze at a focal point, and looking out in the distance can be helpful. If you find a gaze that your eyes can focus on, then that will help guide your brain. And then move to the second side. Choose whichever feels right for you, the bottom of the foot at the heel, or the ankle, or the inside of the calf, or the inside of the thigh. So your foot position is completely up to you. Your hand position is completely up to you. It's all about the practice. Each day is different. Each side is different. And people tend to be pretty judgmental about themselves with balance. And people say, oh, I'm terrible. My balance is terrible. And it's really important as we practice this to honor the effort and the growth and the practice, and not expect a certain position or a certain thing, certain way that it has to be. So let's move into Warrior One pose. We'll do a little bit of movement with this. So standing behind your chair, place both hands on the back of your chair. Step one foot forward and one foot back so that the front foot is bent. The knee is right over the ankle and the back foot is straight, the back leg is straight, and the heel is connected to the floor. Keeping the chest lifted, and once you've got your balance, if you need to adjust your feet a little bit wider apart, you'll have a lot more stability. With an inhale, straighten the front leg, lift your back heel up off the floor, coming forward, and then bring the heel back, bend the front leg, and again, inhale, straighten the leg, lift the heel, exhale, come back. If you'd like to combine arms, you can bring one arm up and then back. Maybe two arms come up and back. And a couple more times. And just notice the rhythm of the movement, the stability with the connection with both feet on the floor, and the freedom to move when you're lifting your heel. And then coming back, switching sides, step your foot forward, second side goes back. The front leg is bent, the knee is right over the ankle, the back heel is connected to the earth. Chest is lifted, inhale, straighten the front leg, come all the way up on the ball of the foot, and then come back. And again, combining the arms anytime you want to, and they can come forward, they can come up, whatever you'd like. The gaze can come up a little bit. Find a movement that might be a little bit challenging, but that also feels gentle and modifying any way you need to. One more time. And lowering back down. That's awesome. Doing great. Step your foot forward. And standing behind your chair, just take a moment here to lift your chest, come up on your tiptoes, and then lower the heels, lift the toes, just kind of rocking back and forth. And strengthening the ankles, giving them flexibility. Coming up. When you're on your heels and you lift the toes, spread the toes wide. Let the air circulate. Coming up. Feel free to play around with letting go of the chair. Maybe one hand can be on the back of the chair. And maybe you just want to explore with releasing the hands. Pause here on tiptoes for a minute, see what that feels like. And then coming back to center, to the floor. Nice job. One more time. And both feet back to the floor, turning sideways now. One more standing practice here. I'm just going to bring my weight to my right foot because I start on my right foot, and you're totally free to start on either one that you want to. Connecting your hand with the chair, I'm going to lift my chest, draw my left knee up, engaging the muscles on my right leg, resting when I need to, and just begin to circle the foot in one direction and then in the opposite direction. If you feel like you'd like to try releasing your hands for balance, you can bring your hands to heart center or keep your hand on the chair, whatever feels good. Point and flex the toe and the foot, and then lower the foot to the earth, second side. So taking good care of our ankles, our legs, the things that get our balance, things that keep us safe, sturdy, so we can do the things that we want to do, the things we need to do with more confidence. So just play around with this. And I think sometimes we have a sense that we have to do things just like the instructor or just like we're supposed to, but yoga is all about exploring and movement and making it your own practice. Let's take a moment before we sit down to just move into warrior two pose. So I'm gonna bring my feet wide, bring your feet as wide as is comfortable, connecting all four corners of the feet to the earth. Turn one foot, I'm gonna turn my right foot out towards the end of my mat so that it's perpendicular to my back foot. Squaring my shoulders over my hips and just keeping the back foot parallel to the back of the mat. It's going to bend into the front knee. Move my chair a little bit. Just take a peek at your knee. Check and make sure it's aligned over your foot. And when you can pause right here, this is a perfect warrior two pose. Hands on the hips. If you feel like you want to extend your arms out, let the arms float up. And when you're ready, you can turn and gaze out over your front hand, your front fingers. Pausing. Take a check on your feet being connected and just pause here for a moment. Pose of groundedness, control, extending and reaching out. And then lower the arms slowly. Turn your head forward, turn your front foot forward and reach second side. So we'll reverse our feet position. One foot goes out towards the end of the mat. The back one is parallel. Outside of the foot is parallel to the mat. Find your stability through your alignment between the shoulders and the hips. And then just gently bend into the front knee. Keep the hands right here and just turn the head to gaze over your shoulder, or if you feel like extending the arms. And just pause and breathe into the expansiveness of Warrior Two. And then bring the hands and the arms together. Turn the feet forward. Slowly step your feet together. And then I'm going to turn my chair around here. We'll find our way back to our seat. So we'll I'll actually leave it. Now I'll turn it this way. Bring your hands standing in front of your chair. Make sure that you can feel the back of your chair with your legs. So we are going to land on it properly. Bring your hands to that crease again, and bending the legs. Inhale and raise your arms. Exhale, have a seat. Nice. So we'll take a moment here before we finish our practice to just sort of relax and unwind. Take a minute to just notice maybe a little bit of movement in the neck. Just allow your head to turn from side to side. And feel free to close your eyes and enjoy a sense of beginning to relax. And so slowly moving the head side to side. And coming back to center. Allow one ear to drift towards the shoulder. Just notice the space. Coming back to center, second side. Ear to shoulder. Freedom and ease in the upper back and the neck. Coming back to center, just allow your chin to drift towards the chest slowly. And if it feels comfortable, just feel free to move your chin over to the left. And maybe back to center and over to the right, just sliding the chin along the chest. And coming back to center, pause here for just a moment. Allow the shoulders, keeping the chin on the chest. Allow the arms to come down to the side of the chair and allow them to be heavy. And sense that release of tension in the back of the neck and the upper shoulders. And now bring the hands back to the lap. Lift your chin. We'll settle in for a few moments of rest, Savasana, taking advantage of the opportunity for the time that you've set aside for yourself for this practice to come full circle, completing the journey of being good to yourself, being present, allowing the body to acknowledge the movement, the process, to integrate it into the rest of your world, the rest of your day. Begin by noticing the inhale, the air moving through your nose, again into the chest, sensing that familiar breath. Nice, easy opening in the upper body. Allowing the hips to feel heavy. Resting, supported by the chair, the seat of the chair. The legs and the feet are heavy, completely supported by the earth. We take a moment to just be, for just a moment or two more, nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do. A couple more breaths. Sending the goodness of the breath all the way throughout your body. And then bringing the hands to the heart center, palms facing, and bowing to your heart. The light in my heart honors the light in each of yours. Namaste. Lower the hands, lift the eyes, lift the head, open the eyes. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Have a great rest of your day.